Too emotional to air? Disney Plus staff reportedly reveals the secret Jimin and Jungkook scene that was pulled at the last-minute shushing face movie camera. How do you tell the world that something unforgettable happened behind the cameras when the world was never supposed to know? How do you explain a moment so emotionally charged, so unexpectedly raw, that even a global platform like Disney Plus allegedly chose to lock it away? And what exactly happened between Jimin and Jungkook, two of the most observed, analyzed, beloved figures on Earth, that made a staff member whisper, "This could never be aired"? Tonight, the entertainment industry finds itself shaken by a leak it didn't see coming, a confession whispered from inside a high-security production room, where silence is usually signed into contracts. What was meant to remain hidden in an editing vault, protected by confidentiality clauses, NDAs, and corporate protocol, has spilled into the open like a spark in dry brush. And now the question grips fans worldwide. What was in the censored emotional scene involving Jimin and Jungkook, and why was it removed from Is This Right? Season 2, just days before its scheduled Disney Plus premiere, the alleged leak arrived quietly, disguised as a casual comment from someone who, according to industry insiders, handled raw footage. A staff member, whose identity remains masked, reportedly admitted that a deeply emotional moment between Jimin and Jungkook triggered discussions in the editorial room. Discussions intense enough that the final decision was swift, unexpected, and irreversible. It wasn't cut because it was inappropriate, the staffer allegedly stated. It was cut because it was too real. But what does too real mean in the world of global superstars who have lived 2/3 of their adult lives under constant scrutiny? What kind of moment goes beyond the usual laughter, teasing, travel antics, and openly affectionate friendship Army has seen for over a decade? This is where the mystery deepens. Sources close to the project insist the scene occurred during a late-night segment of the duo's friendship trip, filmed after long hours of travel when the cameras were rolling more quietly, almost as if they were part of the room's atmosphere. That particular night, the staff reportedly stepped back, letting the two men talk uninterrupted. Perhaps it was the dim light, perhaps the isolation of unfamiliar surroundings, or perhaps the reality of reuniting after military service. But something shifted. One insider claims the emotional tone of the scene came from a conversation sparked spontaneously. Not scripted, not prompted, not planned. A moment where both Jimin and Jungkook seemingly let down their final layer of idol composure and spoke not as BTS members, but as two friends who had survived the same storms. At least one staff member allegedly described the room as quiet in a way that made everyone feel like we shouldn't be standing there. The rumor deepens further when another individual hinted that Jimin expressed something he had never said publicly before, while Jungkook reacted in a way described as overwhelmed. The rawness of the exchange, according to the leak, made the editorial team freeze when they reviewed the footage. It changed the tone of the episode. One insider reportedly said, "It felt like the kind of moment you protect, not broadcast." And that protection, that instinct, may have been what led Disney Plus to pull the footage without hesitation. Not because it violated guidelines, not because it revealed confidential information, but because it revealed vulnerability that didn't belong to the public, no matter how much fans believe they deserve to see everything. This, of course, has ignited a global frenzy. Why is it that the most meaningful scenes are always the ones hidden? Why does footage that shows idols as real human beings get sealed away, while polished content makes it to the final cut? Is the world not ready for this truth? Or, perhaps more honestly, is the industry itself not ready? The more fans dig into the story, the more questions arise. Did the scene involve their shared journey through mandatory military service, something both men experienced during a period of separation from the group? Did it involve fears, pressure, or reflections that were too personal even for a documentary-style travel show? Did it bring up memories of the early BTS years, when both relied heavily on each other just to survive the demands of a rising global fame that none of them were prepared for? Or did it reveal a moment of unspoken gratitude, forgiveness, or emotional exhaustion that simply could not be packaged into entertainment? Disney Plus, for its part, remains silent. Not a statement, not a denial, not a clarification. And sometimes, silence is louder than a press release. Meanwhile, ARMY has begun piecing together clues from teaser frames, staff sightings, and behind-the-scenes photos. Some fans claim that an early internal screening for executives included a noticeably longer nighttime sequence compared to the version shown in the official teaser. Others point out subtle cuts in the lighting and dialogue rhythm, tiny signs that something had been removed. Speculation grows thicker by the hour. A trending question on social media reads, "What scared them?" Another asks, "Why would Disney Plus hide their emotions when that's the Jungkook dynamic fans love the most?" And a final, more haunting question, what if that scene was the heart of the entire show? Whatever the truth is, the alleged leak has achieved one undeniable outcome. It has turned the premiere of Is This Right? Season 2 into the most anticipated, most dissected, and most emotionally charged event on Disney Plus this year. Fans won't just be watching for the laughter or the travel adventures. They'll be watching the spaces in between the edits. They'll be searching for the soft glances, the quiet pauses, the cuts that come too quickly, because now they know something is missing, and once an audience knows that, the mystery becomes part of the show itself. Was this censorship an act of protection or control? Was it done for the sake of privacy, or to maintain a polished image the world expects? Only those inside the editing room truly know. What's certain is that the emotional gravity of the cutscene has already left its fingerprint on the entire series, even without being aired, and the world will keep asking until the truth surfaces. What did Jimin and Jungkook say to each other in that moment that made a Disney Plus staff member whisper, "This should have never been filmed"? The whispers inside the editing bay were only the beginning. As the sun set on the day the leak first reached the outside world, a new wave of speculation swept through both the entertainment industry and global fandom communities. What had once been a simple travel variety series showcasing the warmth of two lifelong friends now carried an unexpected weight, as though a hidden truth pulsed beneath every frame. It raised a question that no one had anticipated asking. What happens when a moment meant only for two people becomes captured accidentally by a camera crew, preserved digitally, but deemed too vulnerable for millions to witness? Behind Disney Plus' polished branding and glossy promotional teasers, tension reportedly simmered. One individual familiar with internal discussions claimed that the emotional scene wasn't just powerful, it was disarming. It shook the staff, the source insisted. People who've edited countless projects, people who never flinch at raw footage, even they didn't know how to react. It felt like walking in on a private moment. And if that is true, then another uncomfortable question emerges. Should it have even been filmed? Cameras, after all, do not rest simply because a person's walls come down. They capture everything: laughter, exhaustion, anxieties, unspoken affection, and moments of silence that say more than words ever could. The intimacy of documentary-style filming has always walked a fragile tightrope, and in this case, the line may have blurred beyond repair. Deep inside the editing suite, according to one account, there was a long pause after the emotional footage was replayed. A pause thick with conflicted feelings. The editor apparently leaned back in their chair and whispered, "We can't use this. They didn't intend this for the world." That statement, if true, might explain the urgency with which the decision was carried out. Some insiders believe the call to remove the footage came not from Disney Plus executives, not from HYB, but from the editors themselves, professionals who understood that some moments between artists, even on film, are sacred. Yet there is another side to the story emerging, and it is far more provocative. A second staff member claims the scene was not simply removed out of respect, but because the moment revealed a vulnerability that could shift public narratives. The emotional intensity was different. It wasn't staged, it wasn't polished, it wasn't the typical idol-friendly vulnerability. It was two people confronting something real, something heavy. Naturally, this version of events has fans asking, did Jimin or Jungkook cry during the scene? Did one break down after discussing the hardships of military service, or the pressures of fame, or the fear of disappointing the world after being away for so long? Did they express feelings they've never dared to speak publicly? Not because they didn't want to share, but because the emotional cost was too high. One rumor circulating claims that Jungkook became visibly emotional while responding to something Jimin said about loneliness during service. Another suggests that Jimin expressed gratitude in a way that overwhelmed Jungkook. Others theorize the scene involved reflection on their earliest years together, when both were young, insecure, and battling expectations they couldn't yet comprehend. The details remain locked away, but the emotional residue of the moment is now undeniable. Meanwhile, conversations among industry professionals have shifted from curiosity to a deeper, more philosophical debate. Is it ethical to film everything just because the camera is on? Should stars be expected to open their hearts on command simply because a show needs to fill an hour? The editing team reportedly argued fiercely about this, wrestling with the fine line between storytelling and intrusion. Some felt that the world had a right to see such an authentic moment between the two global icons. Others countered that the world had no right at all, that some emotions are meant to exist only in the moment they are felt, not to be consumed, clipped, and streamed. For days after the scene was removed, the atmosphere on set was said to be noticeably different. Staffers reportedly avoided discussing the night shoot in front of Jimin and Jungkook. One crew member mentioned that Jimin seemed unusually quiet the following morning, while Jungkook wore an expression described as lost in thought. But no one could confirm if either artist was informed that the footage had been cut. If they were told, they certainly did not show it publicly, and yet the question continues to haunt the narrative. If the footage was so powerful that the editorial staff themselves felt it needed to be protected, why did a staff member leak the information in the first place? Theories now spiral in every direction. Some believe the leak came from someone moved by the emotional weight of what they witnessed, someone who wanted fans to know that Jimin and Jungkook shared a moment deeper than the final edit would ever show. Others argue the leak was intentional, a subtle marketing nudge designed to heighten anticipation and ensure the premiere becomes the biggest streaming moment Disney Plus Asia has seen. Another theory, much darker, suggests internal conflict, perhaps someone dissatisfied with the final product, someone who felt art was being suppressed. An O theory, however, has satisfied curious minds, and so the demand grows larger. What are they hiding from us? When promotional clips for Is This Right? Season 2 were released earlier this month. Eagle-eyed fans detected tiny details that might hint at the missing emotional sequence. In one shot, Jimin and Jungkook sit by a small fire with mugs in hand, their shadows dancing across a dimly lit outdoor backdrop. The shot in the teaser lasts only a second, but one staffer insists that the actual scene in raw footage spanned nearly 15 minutes. Why show only 1 second? Fans also noticed that the official trailer contains abrupt transitions, subtle cuts that seem to skip over portions of nighttime conversations. One moment shows Jungkook turning his head toward Jimin. The next, the angle jumps to a wide shot where the ambience feels different, as if part of their dialogue had been removed. It is possible these cuts are unrelated, simply editing choices to maintain pacing. But now that the rumor has spread, viewers cannot help but wonder, was this where the censored moment belonged? Disney Plus remains silent. HYB remains silent. Even the staffers involved in the rumor have not spoken again, as though the leak itself triggered an internal lockdown. But silence often speaks louder than denial, and what is most fascinating is the emotional reaction that fans have developed over something they will never see. It is the nature of hidden things. Once we know something is missing, the imagination fills the void with intensity that reality may never match. The mystery becomes its own universe. Every expression, every fleeting glance, every quiet pause between Jimin and Jungkook in the trailer now feels charged with possible meaning. Some fans online have begun posting theories so detailed they resemble detective dossiers. They analyze shadow positions, the direction of campfire smoke, and even the subtle redness around Jungkook's eyes in one candid shot. They dissect Jimin's tone in the brief audio clips revealed. They slow down footage frame by frame, searching for any trace of the emotional aftermath. It has become clear that the missing scene is no longer just a deleted moment. It has become a legend before the series has even aired.